everyone, and welcome back to Do More Art. My name is Bailey and I'm here to show you all another easy, fun, at-home project that you all can do. It's bittersweet because this is our last Do More Art segment, but it's awesome because I love this project and I know you all will too. What it is called watercolor with markers. So a lot of times I talk about, painting with watercolors, but maybe you don't have that at home. Here is an easy fix for that. So, because we're going to be using markers, and I feel like most people do have that at home. But for this project, here's our supply list. You're going to need a thick piece of paper like cardstock or something like that. A black permanent marker. I'll be using a Sharpie. But you want it to be thicker just to show up on the page. You need some washable markers. Make sure that they are washable because we are going to be mixing water with it, and that's how we get that watercolor effect. So if you have permanent markers, it won't work for that. You're going to need a Ziploc bag as big as your piece. So if you're doing a smaller piece, a smaller bag, but I'll be using a gallon size bag to cover my piece, and a spray bottle. And I know not many people may have spray bottles. What I'm doing is reusing a bottle that we just ran out of. It was like wrinkle releaser or something. We just ran out of it, so I filled it with water and I'm using that. But if you don't have any spray bottle, you can also use a toothbrush with the bristles, and I'll talk about that in the video later on. But now that we have everything, let's get started. Alright, so before we get started, as always, we're going to go over the supply list, make sure that we have everything before we get started. First things first, you're going to need a gallon-size Ziploc bag. You will need markers, and make sure that they are washable. They need to be washable, otherwise the project won't work. A piece of paper for your project. It needs to be thick paper like cardstock. A black marker, a permanent marker. I'm using a Sharpie. And then also you're gonna need a spray bottle. I'm using an old Downy bottle that we've already gone through. I cleaned it out and put water in it. You can also, if you don't have a spray bottle at home, you can also use a toothbrush, and I'll explain that process when we get to it. But first things first, what we're gonna do is start with our drawing. I'm gonna be making a garden today, but as usual, you're at home, you can be making your own project. You can draw whatever you want for this part. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a few flowers and maybe some insects like bees or butterflies, and I'll catch back up with y'all. So I have my drawing all planned out. I have a beautiful garden full of all different kinds of flowers. I couldn't tell you what they are. A butterfly and a bee. So now we're gonna get to the fun part of the project, which is coloring. Always the best part in my opinion. So go ahead and set your piece of paper aside and then pull down your Ziploc bag. And since I'm using a smaller piece of paper, what I've been doing is marking out where my paper is, but if you're using a full sheet of paper, you probably don't need to do this. This is just so I don't have to color the whole Ziploc bag, and I'm just coloring what I need to color. So there is that. I have my margins. Now I'm gonna go through and color where I think I just want color. And that can be just about any colors that you want. You want to kind of think about the color wheel and how certain colors will go together and other colors will make like a nasty brown color. So think about that, like maybe do cool colors together or something. But I think I'm gonna go pretty basic and just do a rainbow from left to right. But this is totally your all's project. You can do this completely different if you want. I will show you all a few more examples that I've already done just to give you an idea of what else you can do. But I'm gonna go ahead and mark through. You're just literally coloring on to the Ziploc bag as if you were coloring on a piece of paper. And just be careful not to touch it because it is pretty wet once you put it on there. So just be mindful of that. Alright, so I have my rainbow completely drawn out, and now we are going to get our spray bottle with water, and if you don't have a spray bottle and you're using a toothbrush, like I said, what you're gonna do with the toothbrush, say this is the head of it with the bristles, you wet it and then you just spritz it onto your Ziploc bag, similar to what a sprayer will do. So I'm gonna just spray, and you just want to be sure to cover all of the color that you've put on there. You don't need a lot of water, you just need to be able to cover what you've put on there. So once you have it all wet and ready to go, you're gonna take your piece of paper, turn it upside down, and then you're gonna lay it on top where you think it needs to go. I think there. And then this is a very important part. You want to press and kind of move around the water to really give it that watercolor effect. And then it will be a magical reveal. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, look at that. So colorful, and you can see where the permanent marker has stayed. But that is watercolor with markers. It is so neat, right? I just love how all the colors all bleed together just like watercolor actually would. But that is my rainbow garden, butterfly garden thing. Here are some other ones that I want to show you that I've done. So remember when I just showed you all that you needed to press and move around the water and the markers underneath? That's how you get that blended effect. The first one I did, I didn't do that, and I got more of this stamp effect, which is still very cool. So if you do want this kind of process, just be sure to not move it around. You just kind of press on top. But if you're looking for the watercolor effect, which is what we were going for, then you need to push it around. And something I made is a card, like a thank you card. And I think it is just gorgeous. I can't wait to use it and give it to somebody. But that's something you can do with this project. And again, this one is the one where you push the water and the markers around. But yeah, you can do all different kinds of things with it, especially once it's dry. You can frame it, make a card out of it, cut a shape out of it if you want. So many different things. But yeah, that's the watercolor with markers. So yeah, that is our watercolor with markers. I hope you all enjoyed that project as always. And if you have any questions, again, as always, put them in the comments below. I'll be doing my best to check up on that and answer anything that you all may ask. But I just wanted to show our projects again, or the one that we just finished. So that's the beautiful rainbow butterfly garden that we did. And again, to show you what you can do with it, you can frame it, you can do that stamp kind of effect where you just press onto it instead of moving it around, or you can move it around and get that watercolor effect like I showed you and make really pretty cards out of it. It was just great gifts, honestly. Everyone loves homemade art. But thank you for joining me, and I hope you all enjoyed Do More Art this summer. Be sure to go check out the other videos if you missed them, and so many other cool projects and read-alongs that the library has offered. Just go check out all those videos, they're great. But thanks, and have a good day.